Hey everybody, I'm Eric Oberembt, and you're listening to Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. We talk about real shit, what's on our minds, and don't give a fuck if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So sit back, strap in, and get ready for some real shit. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm your host, Eric Oberembt. I am overjoyed about the opportunity that we have here today. And I think that this is going to be a little bit different interview than my friend here has done before. But I'd like to introduce my guest today, DeShaun Bryant.
Thank you for having me, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic. How are you doing?
Love it. Phenomenal myself, man.
Yeah?
Yes,
so,
sir.
A lot of people watching. I'd say probably 50-60% of the people that watch this are probably in the industry and like know who you are.
Roofers and stuff, yeah.
And then other people that watch aren't, right? They're outside of the industry and whatever. But what we don't do, I don't know if you've watched much of our content or anything, but we don't spend a lot of time talking about work.
I like that.
We don't talk about sales.
Yeah.
We don't talk about, right, all the shit that you got to talk about
all the time,
fucking day of your life, right?
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I started this show was because, and I've said this 100 times, so I'm sorry, but one of the reasons I started this show was because I have access to certain people.
Yep.
Right? I've got access to be able to come ask you a question,
yep.
Right? Where not everybody maybe has the comfortability to be able to do that,
yeah,
right?
I know what you mean.
And I get the opportunity to say, hey, man, you want to come on the show, and I want to get to know who you are.
Yep.
Not what the fuck you do.
Yep.
Right? I know what you do,
yeah.
and you're damn good at it.
Thank you.
Right?
You.
Damn good at it. But I want to know some of the shit that you've had to go through to become that human that you are today.
Yeah, I like
we all went through some struggles and shit, right?
100%.
And I don't know that story about DeShaun, and I want to know that story.
Nah,
right?
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about DeShaun and where you came from a little bit, and then let's get into some shit that you don't normally talk about.
Yeah. So obviously my name is DeShaun. I'm owner and creator of Roof Hustlers. I'm a roofing sales coach trainer. I fly around, train roofing companies across the nation.
Do you have Roof Hustlers on your license plate?
Not yet. Not yet. We got it tatted on me.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you did? Good.
Yeah,
all right,
I got
cool.
it tatted on me, but that's it.
Next is license plate.
But so I'm born and raised from Florida.
Okay.
Grew up in a single parent home.
Okay.
Just my mom, me, and my 3 other siblings. I got 7 total, but I grew up with 3 of them.
Okay.
You know, didn't really know my pops like that. Like I knew my dad, but I ain't have no relationship with my dad.
Yep.
So I used to see him every other weekend, and you know, grew up like, I don't want to say, I just say I grew up like most young black dudes in the hood. We either want to rap, we want to play football, or you sell drugs.
Okay.
Right? So I took the football in the rapping route. So
okay.
I used to
was
rap.
gonna say, which one of those routes did you go
never
after?
sold drugs because I had a lot of homies who sold drugs and they end up in jail.
Okay.
And I'm a fast learner.
And you stayed away from that.
Yeah, I'm a fast learner, man. I saw them losing their life.
Because
and I'm like,
I would have guessed with the level of success in sales that you have today that would have been the route.
Nah,
you know what I mean? Because that's just the natural progression.
I used to sell people on why I didn't do things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
So like when I was young, all my homies smoked weed and I didn't.
And you had to sell them to why you did.
Yeah, and they're like, "Come on, bro," and I'm like, "Nah, I play football. I wanna go do this. I wanna do that."
Yeah.
So I was always selling people on what I didn't want to do. I wasn't a follower. I was a natural leader, and I wouldn't say like I was a natural leader. I was a natural standard. I just did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Individual.
So grew up playing football. Used to rap. And went to college, right? I didn't start taking high school serious until I started playing football.
Yep.
Graduated with like a 2.6 in high school. You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Get to college.
Where'd you go?
Dean College up in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So I played football up there. You know, I'm geeked because I'm like, oh, man, I get out the house, right? My mom ain't flunked out of college freshman year, 1.8 GPA.
What was the root of that?
I injured I didn't really do my work because I injured my ankle.
Okay.
In spring football.
Okay.
And when you ain't playing football and you're an athlete, you like,
why am I here?
Yeah, what do I do? What the fuck I do, right?
Right.
So I just rehabbed my ankle and I started making music.
Okay.
Like I worked on a mixtape while I was in college. We dropped the mixtape. We made almost like $400 selling mixtape for like $3 a pop.
No shit.
So that's when I first started selling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're selling mixtapes, and I came home because I flunked out, and I pursued music heavy for about 3-4 years, man. And we had a pretty good run. I was really good at rapping. I made the Do-Do-Do music video and stuff like that recently last year. And then I got into sales at like 26.
Okay.
26, and that's where I'm at right now. I started selling
What'd you
roofs.
start selling at 26?
Roofs. 25. Started selling roofs.
Yep. In Florida?
Yep.
Okay.
And I never sold nothing ever since.
Interesting.
I mean, I never ventured out, stuck with roofs the whole time.
When did you start doing the roof hustler thing?
2 years into the industry, so 2 years into my career, so 2017, I started Roof Hustles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did it look like then?
Back then it was just free content. YouTube, putting out free information, because you know how the roofing industry is, man. They take you out 2 days, and then they say you got it, right?
Right.
And I had an epiphany because a homeowner introduced me to Grant Cardone, and I went home and looked him up, and he said something. He said, every industry got a gap. If you could fill the gap, you'll make a lot of money. And it just registered in my head. I'm like, man, the roofing industry suck at training. I was like, there was no way I was the only guy that got took out 2 days and said, go figure it out. So I just created free content. Because I didn't really know shit about roofs, man, to be honest with you. I know way more now, but my first 2 years, I didn't even know what a drip edge was, man. Right. I was just getting by.
Right.
So all of my content was sale-based. It had nothing to do with the roof. Okay. It was not door knocking based and all those things. So we put out content, started building momentum. Spoke to my first roofing company in 2018. 2019 built momentum, trained 10 companies in 2020. 2021 we did 30. And then last year in 2022 I did about 37, 38.
Wow.
And I landed my GAF deal and, you know, speaking at all the conferences, doing all the events, and I just...
So you don't sell at all anymore?
Not these days. Now I'm like 95% trainer now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. Because nothing beats just being in the zone.
Yeah.
Just being in the neighborhood by yourself and dealing with the adversity, people calling cops on you, and then you end the day with like 2-3 deals. Right. And it's just such a rich feeling, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell me about, okay, so I'm trying to figure out the path and the angle.
Yep.
Right? To get you to a different place. Like let's go back, because I have to think that growing up with single mom in the hood, you know, like having to make those choices of whether it was football, you know, whatever it was, right? Where were some of the, again, you had to sell yourself that you didn't do certain things, right?
Yep.
So how did you remove yourself, or were you still accepted in some of those circles?
Oh yeah. I hung around drug dealers and all the time. Like I hung around the people that sold drugs every day.
It's just I still accepted you, right?
Because I was me.
Were you like Ricky and Boys in the Hood?
Not that square, because I still did some stuff.
Okay,
like
right.
we used to do some things.
You know what
we
I'm saying?
Proud
like
of.
he was still accepted.
Yeah.
Right?
So I wasn't like Ricky. Okay. I was more like I did the mischievous stuff.
Okay.
I just never sold drugs. So like
okay.
We used to rob people, not with guns, but we used to beat people up, and we used to steal.
Right.
Like we used to break into places. Like when I was in 10th
so you
grade.
Did some shit.
Yeah. I wasn't no square.
Nah.
I was just smart.
You just didn't get caught.
I just didn't get caught. Yeah. I just never got caught. When I was like sophomore in high school, we broke into a paintball store and we stole like almost 20 plus paintball guns, you know what I'm saying? And we went back and resold them and stuff like that. We used to kick over people's trash cans. Like we used to do all types of stuff, man. Yeah. So we always was up to mischievous stuff.
Right.
I just never went the drug route because my mom didn't play.
Right.
So my mom was like, you in the house by a certain time.
Right.
So I grew up with a very strict mom. And my mom instilled so much fear in me. When I would be about to do something, I'd be like, I'm gonna get a whooping. So I wouldn't even do it. You know what I'm saying? So I knew if I
go rob a paintball store.
I would still do bad stuff. But I knew if I came home with and my mama found drugs in her house, like it's a wrap.
You seem like such a different human today.
Yeah.
Right? So what was that moment in your life where it kind of flipped and you're like, man, I don't want to be that dude anymore?
Honestly, so at like 18, 19, I had a big shift in mindset, and it wasn't huge. It was just the mindset of like, at this age, you go to jail. Like it ain't no juvenile detention.
Yeah, now there's consequences.
Yeah, it's consequences. So I stopped fighting. I used to fight a lot. Yeah. Like I grew up fighting. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like I used to fight my brothers all the time, and then when we was growing up, I was the adventure child. I got in the most trouble out of all my siblings. Right. So I was in like third, fourth grade.
Fight because you had like anger?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
It was like, you know how like you get two pit bulls and you just make them fight?
Yeah.
That's what my uncle used to do. So they'd find kids in the neighborhood and they'd be like, cause my nickname Day Day, and they'd be like, Day Day, go fight them. If you don't fight them, you ain't my nephew. So
Jesus.
yeah. Yeah. So I
That's
mean, one time
intense.
somebody stole my brother's toy out the yard. And my uncle was like, you need to go get your toy back. And he wouldn't do it. So I was in the house playing, and they just took me out the house, and they was like, go beat him up. So I just went and fought him. Yeah. Just fight a lot. And then 18 came, and I was like, all right, you get in trouble when you fight now, right?
Right.
So I stopped fighting, and then I just started, like, trying to figure my life out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty fucking self-aware for an 18-year-old, though. Right?
I'm
Because-
still doing little stupid stuff,
Yeah.
but I wasn't doing nothing extreme.
Nothing was going to land you in the can.
Yeah, and I was blessed because my kid's mom, we was together for 15 years, so like she helped mold me into the man I am.
So when'd you have kids? When'd you start having kids?
25.
Oh, 25.
That was the second shift
What was the first shift?
when I just realized you go to jail.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second shift in
Yeah,
in life.
mindset. Yeah, that's
Got
the second
it. Okay,
shift.
so you started having kids at 25. How old are you now?
32.
32. God damn, you're
Yeah,
still young.
yeah.
So how old's your kids?
My son's 7, my daughter 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
7. Does he wear chains?
My son, no. I don't trust him yet.
So that's one of the rules. My daughter's 7, right?
Yeah.
And one of the rules that I've explained to Tegan ever since she was very, very small was that if you see a boy with a chain, you are supposed to turn around and run away as fast as humanly possible. You're not allowed to spend time with boys with chains.
That is hilarious.
And she's like, Daddy, do you have a chain? I'm like, not anymore, but I did have a fucking chain.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to be around guys like Daddy was when I wore a chain.
That is funny. Nah, my son don't got no chains. He'll break them, so I just don't trust him with stuff like
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
So
well,
yeah,
keep him out of chains.
exactly.
Yeah,
right?
like it's really just a good life lesson that I like to impart on other parents.
Yeah.
I'm just here to help.
No chains, especially no
chain.
silver chain.
Right, yeah, fuck the 2 chains.
Yeah.
I'm Eric no chains.
I like.
Like no fucking no chains, goddammit.
I like it. I like it.
Tell me about having kids and how that affected you, because that changed my life
Yeah.
fucking so dramatically.
So the day my son was born, my son was born February 4th. I closed my first roofing deal February 6th.
Okay.
Right. So my son being born just kind of. First of all, it ignited a fire in me that I didn't know I possessed.
Yeah.
Because my entire life was about me.
Right.
It's about me, you know what I'm saying? Like my own selfish needs, my lust, my urges. And then when my son was born, it was like, it ain't about you no more, man.
Right.
So I got somebody that I got to be a great example for. And I'm still working on that because I'm not the best example. I won't lie. But
Why? Why do you say that?
Because I still fuck up in some ways, you know what I'm saying? I'm a very impulsive person.
Okay.
So I don't stop and like think the way I should sometimes.
Okay.
Even though people see the success and like I'm killing the
Yeah.
game, I done made some pretty like
Give me an
impulsive
example.
decisions. So like, for example, like this to be the authentic show. So me and my kids, the mom was together for like 15 years, and due to my impulsive urges, you know what I'm saying, I ended up stepping outside of my relationship, and
Okay.
I ruined our 15 year.
Yeah.
Being together.
Yeah.
So like that's one of my decisions that I
Gotcha.
made.
Yeah.
But so I'm still working on being a good example for him. But now that like since he was born, I was way more cautious than I used to be. So he the reason I never gave up on door to door. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been a stay-at-home dad since my kid's been alive. So my kids never went to daycare. So I stay home with my kids every day.
Love that.
So like the relationship that I have with them was like top tier thing.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to be the best example. Like my son's 7 years old. He want to knock doors.
Man, they change you, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you have a daughter, you said, that's 5?
Yep.
So
And she definitely changed me.
this is, yes. So
Yeah.
I've only got the one daughter.
Gotcha.
Right? And I tell everybody, we all joke when we're younger, like, I'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean? Like, joking, whatever.
Like get a shotgun
But
and all
you
that
have
stuff.
a daughter,
Yeah.
and you actually find out that you are genuinely capable of murder
Yeah.
when you have a daughter, right? Like, I've been to jail. I'll go back. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If you fuck with my daughter, I will kill you.
Man, just to be 100% honest, I didn't even want a daughter. I was bummed out the
I
whole
didn't
pregnancy.
either. No, I didn't either.
I was bummed out the whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people like, what you want? I'm like, a son.
Right.
And they're like, you don't mean that. You want a healthy baby. I'm like, well, then don't ask me what I want.
Right.
Like,
I
if
made
you're
him
not
go
ready
back
for
and
the
check
answer,
the fucking sonogram 3
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
I absolutely did.
Man.
But at the end of the day, best thing that ever happened to
That's
you.
not, yeah. We do the gender reveal, right? It was on Christmas. So we do the gender reveal. I'm in a house full of women. I'm the only dude. Maybe my kids and mom, dad was there, my kids' grandpa.
Right.
And the balloon come out and it's pink. And the whole room going crazy. And I'm like, fuck. Like,
What am I going to do with
yeah.
this?
And not even in the sense of like, I got a girl, how I'm going to change, but in the sense of like, I ain't want that.
Right.
Like it's not what I want. Still to this day, my kids' mom give me slack because I wasn't present the same way I was for my son's pregnancy.
Oh, during the pregnancy. Then
Like I was there.
So then how long after she was born did
the
it
day,
change?
same
The
day,
Yep.
same day.
Yep.
Yeah, when she came out, and I'm just like, that's my girl. You know what I'm saying? And me and her have a phenomenal relationship.
Yeah.
Like at 5 years old, she like, that's my dog.
We joke,
Yeah.
my wife and I, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I love you, but I'd kick you in front of a bus if it saved her.
Nah, yeah, I love my baby girl.
And she looks at me and she's like, I'd kick you in front of a fucking bus as well. I'm like, fair, deal, I'm okay with that.
And it's crazy, out of my 2 kids, she like, I don't know. I know daddy girl, mama's boy, that shit is real. But me and my daughter just got a different relationship, man. Yeah, it's wild.
It's so real, though.
So real.
Right? Because you're the person that she's going to emulate.
Exactly.
Every other person, every other man that she meets.
That's why I spoil her to death. So I feel bad for any of her future boyfriends.
Well, have you heard that comedian that talks about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I do that shit on purpose.
On purpose. I'm the same
he's
way.
like, because fuck you. Like,
I do not want my daughter to be impressed by any man.
No.
I want her to be impressed by his character.
By what?
His character.
Yes.
Like, I don't care about the material stuff, none
Right.
of that stuff. That's why I do so much of it for her. So I want her to meet a man and be like, wow, he opened doors.
Right.
Wow, he apologizes.
Right.
Like, he take accountability.
And if he doesn't, it's weird.
It's weird,
because today it is because it's not normal today.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Chivalry is dead.
Exactly.
It's actually frowned upon, right? Because
I opened the door for my daughter, still all that stuff.
Yes, but now it's become a thing where you're looked at as like, God, I don't know what the word is, but it's like an anti. You can't be a man anymore.
So
you know what I'm saying?
The new
I'm going down a
generation,
fucking
they like to
route
call
here,
it a
but-
simp. They like to call it a simp.
A simp?
Yeah.
Like a simple?
Nah, like, so you got like a pimp, right? Somebody
Yeah.
who like pimp women and
Yeah.
they
Oh, I know. Yeah.
like an Andrew Tate guy.
Yeah.
But a simp is somebody that's like considerate, compassionate. You take other people, you like,
Okay,
you buy
I've
women
never heard that term.
flowers.
Have you
like,
heard that term?
Like you do those things like that. Like
Yeah.
you simping for the woman. Like, but it's really like you like her. So you doing the things that's necessary
Right.
to, show that you appreciate her.
Right.
Like you open doors for her, you buy her flowers, you cook for her. Like you do all those things.
Right.
And some men would be like, oh, he being a simp. You know what I'm saying?
Never heard that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what they say these days.
All right. So kids have changed your life.
Yeah, drastically.
Yeah. I didn't realize how young you were.
Yeah, 32, man. We started this at 25. I
So-
meet a lot of people, and they say, man, it's crazy where you're going to be at like 40.
Well, so where do you want to be at 40? What's your goal now? Like, what do you want to do moving forward? Right.
So the ultimate goal, like with what we're doing, we just created the online brand. I mean, the online academy.
Okay.
So we're trying to get more into like mailbox money. Of course, everybody wants passive income.
Yeah, everybody wants that.
But the ultimate goal is to create like licensing. So I want to find people in due time. People gonna start revealing themselves, and they're gonna be like, "Man, I want to do what you do. I just don't got my own content. I don't got my own brand. Cool beans, man. Pay me a certain fee. We're gonna take you through months of roof hustlers training. Now you're a certified roof hustlers coach, and then we're gonna push those people into the marketplace, and we're gonna help them get business, and then put them out there and get them to start training other roofing companies as well.
Okay.
Instead of me just doing it all.
Okay.
And then you know how like you ever seen like Robert Kiyosaki? They're like,
Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki conference in your city is free, but he's not even teaching it.
Right.
It's like 5 people that went through his training that teach it now,
Right.
or something like that.
Right.
So that's the ultimate goal, is
Okay.
to get into licensing. And like being a good coach and being a good trainer has allowed me to start speaking on stages.
Yep.
That wasn't my goal to like be a speaker.
Right.
You know, some people chase
But you're
that.
great at it.
Yeah, thank you, man. I took a lot of performing arts school.
Yeah.
I went to a performing arts school growing up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I used to do I used to act. I used to do monologues.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did
and
I.
I used to
I
do
love that
ballroom
shit.
dancing. I used
Did
to do all
ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
DeShaun did ballroom dancing.
Yeah, still not a
I bet
merengue a little bit.
Can you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, still not a merengue a little bit. And slight cha-cha still, but the merengue was the one I remember more
shit.
than anything. Yeah. So I've always been like comfortable in front of crowds. So that's why the speaking and stuff easy for me.
Right.
But yeah, licensing is the main goal. And then of course that next step is like putting other people in a position to do what I do, because people want to do it. They just don't know how to get started.
Right,
So we want
right.
to create that system that we can start plugging people into and start creating monster trainers.
Gotcha.
And then now we got them all around the country.
So let me ask you this, because this is something that we talk about a lot, is we've all got these monetary, financial, business plan goals and things like that. What I talk a lot about is the reason why I have those, so that I have the tool of money to be able to do these other things that I'm really passionate about, whether it's Roofers in Recovery or it's helping other people or it's, you know what I mean? Like being able to do this so I can reach more people to be able to afford to do this, because this shit don't fucking pay for itself.
100%.
You know what I mean? What are the things that you're passionate about that you want to be able to use that tool of money to be able to accomplish?
I'm glad you said that, right? Because I tell people I want to make a lot of money, not because I want a lot of money or a big house or a Ferrari or none of those things. The ultimate goal, that's cool. Yeah. The reason why I want to be a multimillionaire, and I'm going to be one, is so I can go back to my community and have like big Thanksgiving giveaways, like take care of families, like sponsor a few families for Christmas, right?
Back where you grew up.
Back where I grew up, right? I want to create a like a scholarship for cats that's coming through high school who family might not be in a financial position to send them off to school or something like that. But this dude maybe he's smart, or maybe he got the athletic ability. And we want to like mentor and coach those type of kids and put them in positions to go to college so they can start changing their lives. Not that college is for everybody, but if they want that opportunity, I want to be able to provide it for them, right? Just want to have that option to go back and give as much as I can back to where I come from.
Have you started doing any of that?
Not yet. And I don't believe you got to have a lot of money to get started. So that's something that I'm focusing on, like in these years to come. Please do, man. Like this year, 2023, I'm gonna say it on camera, I at least want to make it my goal to sponsor like at least 2 families for Thanksgiving, 2-3 families for Thanksgiving.
You can easily do
that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's just like what you probably tell everybody when you're selling them a package. Just go sell 2 more roofs. You can afford it.
And it's just being responsible with the finances and allocating the money in the right place and doing all these things. But I want to start doing that. Like last year, I sponsored my high school football team.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying the old coach hit me up and he's like, man, we're looking for sponsors. So I sent them a couple $100 just to. He's like, I'll put your logo up and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't even care. I just want to help. I just want to be able to give back. So that's the ultimate goal once I start making this money, to be able to do things like that. And of course, you know, the generational wealth and stuff like that.
I'm going to put it in my calendar when we're done that I'm going to call you in November. And I'm going to hold your ass accountable to see if you sponsored those 2 families that you said today.
I'm going to do that this year.
Because I know that you wouldn't have said it today if it wasn't important to you.
Agreed.
But I also know how easy it is to get caught up in the day-to-day with the bullshit that we do, and all of a sudden the holidays come and go, and you're like, fuck, I said I was going to do that, and I didn't fucking do it. And I believe in having people in our lives that hold us accountable to higher standards.
I agree.
Right? And I try to put those people in my life. I hope that at some point you'll want to hold me accountable to some shit and be like, Eric, you fucking said you're going to do that. Why aren't you fucking doing that, right? Because that's what real friends do for each other. It's call each other out on their bullshit and say, 100%. You said you were going to do that, and I know that you cared about it, right?
No, yeah, definitely.
And I want to do that. I want to do that because I want to circle back to this in November, and we jump on something, and you're like, nah, man, I didn't do fucking 2, I did 10.
Yeah, exactly. No, for real. That's something I definitely want to do this year.
Right.
I know a lot of homies, roofing companies that do like toy drives, and I donate to their toy drives and things like that. But yeah, that's the goal. I want to do like a Roof Hustlers, you know, Thanksgiving giveaway, whatever it may be, and give back to the community.
You can get 10 companies to help sponsor it in Florida.
Easy.
Like, easy, right?
Easy.
And you'll end up doing even more than what you ever thought.
100%, no doubt.
I love that. Okay, so the way that we kind of wrap up shows is I like giving the floor back because whether people like to admit it or not, they usually come into, especially our show, because it's so like personal and we want it to be relatable and raw to the public and everything. But generally guests come on with something in the back of their head where they're almost thinking, man, I hope he doesn't fucking ask me about that, but knowing that that's probably what you needed to share, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the back of your head that you need to leave me and the people with so that they walk away going, thank you? That's maybe just kind of stuck back there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess I would say something that I would like to lead the people with is so recently, 2021, right? And we kind of talked about it prior, but I had got into like a DUI situation in like 2021.
Yeah.
Right?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I got into that, and I had to go through all the steps that I had to go through.
Yeah.
And
was it first offense?
First offense. Dropped it to a reckless.
Okay.
Put me on probation.
Okay.
And
in Florida?
Yeah. And I violated probation actually May of 2022. Right.
What'd you do?
No, I just got caught driving without a license.
Oh.
Yeah, I just violated probation. Nothing like that. Because I never went around to go get them, so I violated. So I wouldn't say I was on the run. I hired a lawyer.
You're kind of on the run, though, yeah.
And my lawyer said, keep living your life. And let me know when you're ready to turn yourself in. We'll do a walkthrough and X, Y, and Z. So I'm actually this past
all the while you're all over the internet,
traveling everywhere.
But everybody, if they just looked your name up, they'd know where you are.
Yeah, no, right?
Right? Yes.
So I'm training a company in November, and I'm in a situation. I'm at the gas station. I was in my truck because it's in Orlando, and I passed by police and they ran my tag, right? And ended up going to jail that night, right? And then I had to do 6 days up in Orlando. They transferred me down to Pinellas because that's where my warrant was. And I get in front of the judge like a week later, and the judge made me do 60 days in jail. So from like November 17th of this year to December 30th, I was in jail.
Really?
Yeah, and nobody knew.
Right.
Like everybody thought I just vanished. Everybody
Right.
like, DeShaun ain't posting no content. Like, what's going on? And I was in jail, right? And I had to cancel with one company. I had to reschedule with 2 companies. A couple people knew, but nobody knew. So this is the first time I'm really like even telling it to anybody. Yeah. And I'm not telling people the story because I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for me. The thing I want to leave everybody with is when I was in jail, I had time to reflect because it's rare you get like 24 hours like to yourself.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to leave with people that be mindful of the lives of the people around you who your decisions affect.
Right.
Right. And I think sometimes we so selfish in our decision making that we only think about ourselves. We only think about the money we gonna make. We only think about like the things that we can do or what's gonna benefit us. And as I was in jail, I had to call Adam Bensman because I'm part of his Pitch Pro movement, and I'm telling him, I'm like, hey man, I got in a situation, blah, blah, blah. And Adam, a really good friend of mine, and he's like, man, I know you probably don't want to hear this right now. He's like, but you're not in jail because you got caught driving without a license. I said, huh? He's like, you in jail because you decided to drive drunk one night and you got pulled over and it just came back.
Right.
Like it just caught up with you in due time. And when he said that, I was like, dang, I ain't even really think about it that way. So I went home, I went back to my little, not home, my cell that night, and I just started journaling and writing out. And it just really had me reflecting on how important it is to take a divine pause. I think that's what they call it, whatever it may be. But it's like, think about all the people who this decision gonna affect before you make that decision. And not in a good way, not even like as business owners, but like your kids. Like my kids have seen me for 45 days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my kid's the mom, we do 50-50 custody, and she had to be a parent for 45 days, and we were talking, she was like, this hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just really had time to reflect. So now in 2023, I'm so much more cautious in my decision making because you never know who that decision can affect by one bad decision.
Because it's always going to affect somebody other than you.
Always.
If you have anybody in your life at all whatsoever that depends on you for anything, it's going to affect what you do is going to affect those people.
And I was blessed because the roofing companies that I had to cancel with, they were super cool.
Right.
They let me reschedule the trainings.
So you're very fortunate in
that
I'm
very
regard.
fortunate. You know, luckily I got a good reputation and things like that. But if I was to leave something with everybody, it's just be mindful of the decisions that you make and the people that it affect around you, because it don't just affect you. And understand if you got away with something, it's gonna come back and get you in due time. Yeah, it's gonna get you.
Shit is going to catch up.
It's gonna get you. So that's why earlier when you said, "What you mean, man? I'm still trying to be a good role model for my son." You know.
I think we should always be evolving, right?
Yeah.
We should always be evolving. We should never think that we got there.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's always another step. There's always another level. There's always another something
100%.
that we can jump to be better.
Yeah.
And again, the reason that I said that was just because like I've pictured you as somebody that was mindful of that, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't know why I just kind of assumed that you probably went through some shit like I did, and you kind of figured that out, which you did, right? But it doesn't mean we don't have lapses in fucking judgment.
Exactly.
And we all fuck up. I fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all do
things. But if we're not self-aware enough to learn from those mistakes and then figure out how to change what we're doing for the better so that we can be impacting those around us positively, and especially if we have a son and a daughter.
Exactly.
Right?
And my impulsive nature is like the most authentic side of me.
Yeah.
So I have to be even more aware to slow it down. Because I just pull triggers on stuff, man. I just go. I just go. Companies hit me up.
Too.
Let's go. Yeah. Can you do a training this week? Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
And I just go.
And then you're like, wait, no, I can't.
I can't. Yeah. Like, and I had some people I had to call back sometimes, and I got to be like, hey, I actually got something going on that weekend. I got to schedule stuff one time on the weekend of my daughter's birthday, and I had to call a company back. I'm like, oh, my bad. That's my daughter's birthday weekend.
Right.
And I had to reschedule it. But it's because I just just go sometimes.
Right.
So it just really got me thinking, like, man, slow it down a little bit. Think about who's going to be affected by the decision that you're about to make. And like I said, if you did get away with something, just know in due time what you reap, what you sow, and it will come back to get you. And that don't only work for positive stuff.
Yep.
That's what other people think. You put out good. So just be mindful of those things.
I love that.
Yeah.
DeShaun, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure.
You know,
man.
I appreciate the fact we get to see each other quite often at different events and stuff, but we never get to sit down
and just talk
and like get to know each other a little bit. I feel like I know you a little bit better today.
Man.
I think I can call you a friend now.
Definitely.
And I think I can shoot you a text and you can do the same thing to me anytime one of us needs something or just a fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and hold me accountable, like you said, to the Thanksgiving thing, man, because I want to get that accomplished.
I'll report back here in November if DeShaun held his word that he's going to sponsor 10 families. He said 10. He's going to sponsor 10 families in November on Thanksgiving.
We're going to make it happen, man.
Absolutely.
We're going to pull the work done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. And remember, be authentic or get the fuck out.
Get out. I like it.
You can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic. Get the fuck out if you can't be authentic.